You may remember a little while ago, depending on the gap that I put in between these videos in real life, this is literally 5 minutes later, and our attempt at building a working motor has failed. It just is worn out at just 4 and 5, because that's the age of the two machines, years old. So it's time to start the modifications. And somebody told me that you can buy one of those really cheap, horrible vacuum cleaners, and the motor fits quite well into a Shark. So I thought we would give it a go. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums. How are you today? You see before you two machines that are very much made in China for possibly the cheapest possible price. Only one of these machines I think is fairly priced, and it is this. If you remember from the before video, lots of larks and japes. This is actually why I bought it in the first place, because this has a 700 watt motor in it. The Shark had this is a 770 even watt motor, and I am doing this blind. I have not had this apart yet. I might be stopping this video because it's not actually possible, and you know, I just spent £20 for nothing, but it's worth a try, innit? Because I'm not buying a new Shark motor. They're £80, and I don't like Shark enough to want to spend £80 on anything to do with them, really. So, I need to... Oh, I had a knife. There we go. I've got to slice the ratings plate in half, and here we have a little motor. Look at that. This... Ooh, I might get my money back on this. That says 700 watts. This says 500 watts. I've been ripped off. Dun dun dun. Right. Let us cut the cables on this, because quite frankly, goodbye Belaco. But I say, at least it's, you know, fairly honestly priced for what it is. There is another sticker, although it doesn't have any of the same, you know, bits and bobs on it. Cheeky gits. 5, you can tell. I'll be honest, it is a little bit smaller. But, you know, it will sit on the Shark motor clamp. The only slight issue is probably going to be... No, hang on. The end mount fits as well. The real test will be, and I'm going to tuck the cables in a little bit, does it actually hold itself in, or do we need to get creative? No, it doesn't want to hold itself in. So, okay, this is interesting, at least. It might fit. But it is going to need a little bit of creative thinking, is possibly the best way that I can describe what needs to happen here. So, I'm going to figure out a way to see if I can do this, and we'll come back if I find one. Well, the answer, it seems, is yes, I can make it fit. It does sit in, and actually this black piece, which came from the Belaco, seems to work quite right as well. Obviously, when it's in, it all pushes down and does stay. However, wiring it up is going to be a bit of a pain, because I've got to put it in this way, and obviously the wires there and here are nowhere near long enough. I could have and probably should have cut these flipping longer. Schoolboy error. But I think my next step is actually going to be on this shark to try and get all of this apart so I can basically have this hanging out and almost build it back up from the bottom. So come back when it's all apart, because this isn't an instructional video. I've got the wrong screwdriver. I don't quite know what I'm doing as normal. So yeah, bit of fit and start, but I'll try and explain it once I've done it. And this is what the inside of a Shark powered speed lift away looks like. And I've had to cut yet more wires because there's so many wires going into those little, crimps that I just couldn't be bothered to cut them. Bits of trim had to come off, and the hot glue gun is now warming nicely because we can turn our attention back to this. In fact, actually no, while the hot glue gun warms up, I need to look at the wiring, remembering that, because I don't think even this is going to be long enough to go where it needs to go, because this clips in here, look. That's where that bit goes. And yeah, it probably is flipping white wire. If I'd have cut that white wire longer, I would have been alright. I think I'm going to fire the soldering iron up and have to extend it now. So yeah, I was hoping to film a little bit more as well, but I'm not filming myself soldering wires. That's just boring. Back when we're doing more interesting stuff. And with the hot glue trails still needing to be picked off, it's not terribly structural really, it's just to stop this from moving whilst I clamp it. I have those soldered nicely to the motor, and now we actually need this bit, although I am just going to get a little damp wipe and just wipe out in here. This might get refurbished, not saying never, but equally it is now a toy. We have now modified it, so we'll just get that bit clean, and then now I can clamp and screw. Once I remember where the cables ran at the back. You've got to line it all up, it's very fiddly. Aha! But with the sickening crunching sound of plastic snapping together, we have this part ready to screw back up. So I'm going to basically build this back up now. I'll solder those together. There's the slack. Look, I'll solder those together. Put it all back together. This is not one of those videos where I teach you how to do anything. It's fairly simple. You'll be alright. But that is not moving. And it's not even fully clamped down yet. That is what we want. So far, so good. And sometime later, we are where we started on this adventure, not 2 videos ago, or 1, however this works out, with a Shark power speed lift away. Will it? Won't it? Well. There's the release valve. Should we do some vacuuming? That's very pleasant. I haven't given my fixing carpet a vacuum for ages. I'd almost say that works as new. I can see the sales of Belaco going through the roof, even though they're actually lying scumbags and selling things marked as 500 watts out of 7. I've been thinking throughout this afternoon since we saw that I might do a thing on eBay, get my money back, but equally I can't really return it now because it's all in the bin. by the motor, which is in here. That filter is smelling very burnt out. Oh, it skips! Oh, I have to go very slowly over my rug. It feels very tall in my hands as well, which is a good thing for us tall people. It's really quite nice to use, and it is doing an alright job. And of course, with a flick of my hand, move this out the way. It's okay. On carpet though, where it's very good. Oh. Uh-oh. Ah! It's eaten my curtain. Uh-oh. Sorry, Mr. Shark. That was my fault. That is actually quite impressive. That bin, where have I put my camera? That bin has a fair amount of dirt in it. I am. Oh. Let's get some of the demo carpet out. Come on, we've been building up to this for a while. Get the orange carpet out first, and actually what we're going to do is we're going to empty it, because I actually know how to empty one of these. Obviously we fixed the sodding thing. Alright, so that comes off there. There's your shroud, which is a lot cleaner now. I think that's probably just because the thing died. And then, I see it. And there's all of our dust. Rub it in really hard, because this carpet will really show it if this doesn't pick it back up again. Straight up, little bother at all. Very good. To see what it's like on perhaps something a little bit more challenging, I've got my bit of deep pile out, and I've spent the last couple of minutes properly rubbing sawdust into it. And I'm actually going to turn the brush roll off because, and I have this opinion about Dysons as well, the machines all work, you know, as a unit. Yes, it is very good, but that's probably because the brush roll is doing a lot of the work. Plus, we are now technically 270 watts less than we were before. So let's just do a little pass in straight suction. Not bad, but yeah, that's definitely better. Not getting it all up in one pass. But it's got it up. That is not bad. I can see why people do like these. Yeah. Oh, turn around, look, get that bit at the back. not terrible at all. Where is the fill level on these? Doesn't it actually say where the fill level is? I presume only the front bit fills up. Oh, blimey, there it is. Look, obviously that's quite a small area. But, yeah. Ooh, okay. So as a first here on Belaco 1987, I am resetting my expectations of something based on having a non-original example. Because this is an older machine. I know they do the newer ones with the different brush roll on the front. And I've heard stories of that brush roll peeling off, going black, rattling like buggery from the ends, and generally not lasting 9 months if you happen to use it on, the wrong type of carpet, as normal. And as I'm sure you also know, I do happen to think that sharks are nothing but cheap Chinese crap that is made to last a warranty period, and my thoughts have not been wrong. It just so happens that, of course, in doing that, I've never bought one, so I've never tried one. And that is where the problem may lie. Of course, you can have an opinion as much as you like, but you will only know by using. So although this is 500 watts, not 770, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, quite honestly. I did also accidentally leave out the sound deadening from the motor, but again, that's quite quiet. And I don't like these on these cheapies because, it gets really hot and it can't do it much good. So, expectations reset. This is probably going to get a refurb, I'll be honest, because, the filter is pretty filthy. Whole thing's pretty filthy. And of course I now know how to take it apart. So I think the best thing I can do now is to end this video with a working, never get your arm hairs caught in that hose, with my Shark powered lift away NV680UK, and come back when it's all done and actually use it and form an opinion, because a lot of people like them. A lot of people who I respect in the vacuum cleaning community do actually like Shark, and when those sorts of people, who I look up to, we're not all rabid vacuum enthusiasts, say to me, they're not that bad, especially if you're going to take really good care of it and, wash the filter monthly, whether it needs it or not, as a vacuum collector does, it probably will last. So, yeah, I'm going to come back in some future time with, some tales of how I actually think that using an old one is like. Have I saved myself some money? Well, yes, running ones of these go for about, I think they're still about 100 quid. And no, they're not worth £100. But I spent £21.99, which is how much the Belaco cost. I think that's good. As much as I have this other shell here, which you've briefly seen, which doesn't have a motor in it at the minute. Look at that, look. Now, these are two different generations, look. This one, I've actually had some people ask me for some parts off of it. And, I think I'm probably going to give them, I'm probably going to break it for spares rather than go through all of that again. Mainly because, look, it's smashed at the bottom. It's all missing there. And it's pretty filthy. It's way more disgusting than that is. So this one will not see action. It will get, probably broken for spares. I only need one. They are flipping identical. I've got to wash the filter in the blue one because it smells of burning carbon, but it is not coming from the motor anymore. So, thank you very much for watching, sticking with me if you watched the previous episode where we tried to fix this. And then today's modification ones, I'm probably going to keep looking out for cheap sharks now and then buy a few more Belacos or find a similarly cheap £20 Chinese pile of rubbish that maybe has a 700 watt motor in it rather than a 500 watt. So Belaco finally has a running, decent, modernish Shark. I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I, and probably this Shark, we'll see you soon. Bye bye.